You can have your legs crossed or out in front of you, whatever feels best. And we'll take a moment just to find a seated position, a tall spine, and then let's just draw our awareness to our breath. Feeling the breeze and the air on our face. We're going to jump into a breathing exercise at the beginning today. And for this one, we're going to inhale 1/3, pause, inhale 2/3, pause, inhale all the rest of the way, whatever you have left to breathe in, pause, and then a long exhale. And so feel free, you can do this in your own timing, but breathing in through your nose, if you're able, 1/3, pause, a second third, pause, a third, pause, and then that long exhale. Again, everybody can be at different timing, that's totally fine. Let's take 2 more cycles, 2 or 3 more cycles of that. And as you're finishing that up, just shift into a comfortable breathing pattern, whatever feels natural to you. If your eyes are closed, we can open them. And let's just take an inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll twist towards your right. Just take a nice gentle twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twisting towards your left. One more time, side to side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. And exhale, lower. Inhale, reaching overhead. Arms to heart center. Again, take a pause here for a moment. And just reminding yourselves that you can make this class what you need it to be. So feel free to adjust, feel free to take a break at any point, or maybe you want it more challenging and then you can hold it longer, hold the pose longer, whatever feels best for your body. Then let's go ahead and take your left hand towards your thigh or knee, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling. We're going to create some length all the way down the right side of your body, and I will mirror you, or I will try. So when I say right, I mean you're right. You had it right the first time. And if I get all confused, you can correct me. And then let's change sides. Lengthening all the way down your left side of the body. And back down. One more time each side. And other side. And back down. Let's shrug both shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back and down a couple times. And just take notice before we leave a seated position, just take notice how it feels sitting. Because I know it's sometimes not very comfortable for folks in a seated position. And so we're going to try to remember to come back to this position at the very end to compare and see if it feels a little different. So notice if you feel this maybe in your hip creases or your low back or middle back or any other area. And then from here, let's transition onto hands and knees. So finding hands and knees, you can spread your fingers nice and wide, distributing the pressure throughout your hands. And then we're taking a little bit of cat and cow here. So on the inhale, gently dropping your navel downward. And on the exhale, rounding your spine upward like a cat stretching. I've seen a few cats around here, have you guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just connecting all parts of your spine with this gentle flexing and extending or bowing and flexing the spine kind of movement, along with your breath.
With the breath, is it best into your diaphragm or?
So as you breathe in, great question, we'll come back to diaphragmatic breathing in a moment. As you breathe in, you're gonna let your belly sag. You're still tightening your belly muscles a little bit, but you're gonna arch your back this way. And then as you breathe out, you're rounding your spine. And so keep it simple from that perspective. And then we'll come back to that diaphragmatic breathing question. Yeah, great question. And then let's find a neutral position here. And we can give our wrists a little shake, a little wiggle, just to release tension with them. And then let's take a pause, because you had a great question. Let's come to a seated position again. So when we're talking about our diaphragmatic breathing, all breathing is with the diaphragm. So that's how we breathe, is we have this muscle that goes up and down in our body. So if we put one hand on our belly, as we breathe in, we're gonna feel the belly go outward. And as we breathe out, we're feeling the belly go inward. Can you feel that? Or is it a little confusing? A little hard still? Let's transition onto our back. It's another great place to feel this. So if you're lying on your back with your knees bent or straight, one hand to belly if you'd like to. As you breathe in, feel the belly push upward against gravity, up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, the belly goes downward. If you're a singer or if you play a musical instrument, this will be quite natural for you. If not, some of us have been breathing kind of the opposite all our life. So just being patient with yourself. If you're still having trouble kind of feeling that, it's okay, keep practicing. It's a great way to tap into parts of our brain to help our nervous system relax with this diaphragmatic breathing. And sometimes we even say practice this daily and you'll get better, you'll get much more comfortable with it. Amazing. Since we're on our back anyway, let's stay here and press into your feet, and we're going to take a bridge. So lifting your hips upward towards the ceiling. And then let's lower back down. And we can take a few more of these, feeling free to move with your breath. When I say with your breath, just make sure you continue to breathe. Or if you want to pair the inhale with the bridge upward and the exhale with the lowering of the hips, you can do that too. And then just take a pause as you're finishing up your last bridge there. We're going to press the small of the back downward like a little tilt of your pelvis. And then reach your arms up overhead with the palms facing each other for a little shoulder stretch. Maybe the hands go all the way back, or maybe they don't. And then reaching the arms back down by your sides. One more time if you choose, and we can keep the hands shoulder width apart. We're just reaching them upward and overhead. And then back down by your sides. Let's take a gentle side to side knee wiggle here for a moment. And then we're gonna meet on hands and knees again. So we'll make our way over to a side of choice, and then eventually back to hands and knees. That was a great break for our wrists anyway. So from hands and knees, let's take the right leg and reach it back behind you. And if you'd like to, you can add the left arm, reaching forward. If it feels better just to use a leg and have both arms down, that's fine too. And then drawing arm and leg in. We can swap sides. So left leg, right arm. And back in. Let's change sides again. Right leg, left arm. Finding length from your back heel all the way towards your fingertips on that left arm, if your arm is lifted. And change sides again. Left leg, right arm. Nice job. And back in. From here, let's take knees wide-ish, and the heels can come together, and we'll just rock back for a brief child's pose. With child's pose, you can keep your hips a little higher if that feels better. You can also rest through your forearms if that feels better on your shoulders. The other option is to just reach your fingertips forward and just find that nice shoulder stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Hi, welcome. Just you're fine. Leave yourself lots of space because we're going to do a little rotation stretch towards the end. And now rocking our way back up to hands and knees. Let's tuck our toes, and we're going to move into a down dog stretch. So if this is uncomfortable, you're always welcome to skip it and just come to standing. Or if you're in down dog, you can take a moment to pedal your heels, one and then the other, towards the floor. Eventually, taking a moment to pause, noticing how this down dog feels. Breath in, breath out. And then we can walk our feet forward towards our hands. And this is where, if that floor feels like it's a little far away, you can use those blocks to help bring the floor up a little bit higher. Softening through the knees, we're going to rise all the way up to stand, taking a stretch upward. Arms to heart center. And then stepping your right leg back, we'll find our high lunge position. So right leg coming back. If it works, you can keep your heel lifted. If that doesn't work, feel free to adjust your foot down. And then you're welcome to keep your arms at heart center, or we can take them up. We're letting the shoulders sink away from our ears here and just feeling strong through our legs. And then arms to heart center. Reaching down towards the floor now, or blocks. Let's plant our right hand, and we can lift the left for a twist. And then we're untwisting, and let's take our back knee down here. We're shifting up into a half kneel position. So feel free to adjust your leg inward a little bit as you would like to square up. And then let's take arms to heart center for a moment. We're going to take a gentle twist towards your left. And then back to center. Now, if you feel okay with that, you can repeat it with your arms at heart center, or we can take an inhale, reaching the arms upward, and then exhale, arms out to the sides as you twist left. And then arms back overhead to heart center. Nice job. Let's reach down for the floor or blocks here, and we can tuck that back toe. We're going to lift the back knee and just step it on in to meet the front leg. Take a moment to do a little hip wiggle, get both legs firmly underneath you, and we're rising up to standing. Stretching upward, arms to heart center. Stepping your left leg back this time for that high lunge. And once you're here, you can keep the arms at heart center or lift them overhead. And then arms back overhead to heart center. Nice job. Let's reach down for the floor or blocks here, and we can tuck that back toe. We're going to lift the back knee and just step it on in to meet the front leg. Take a moment to do a little hip wiggle, get both legs firmly underneath you, and we're rising up to standing. Stretching upward, arms to heart center. Stepping your left leg back this time for that high lunge. And once you're here, you can keep the arms at heart center or lift them overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking a moment to check in with both legs, feeling both legs. And now taking arms to heart center. We're reaching down towards the mat. And we can plant that left hand and the right arm can lift for a twist. And now we're untwisting, and we can lower your back knee, and we're shifting into that half kneel position. So maybe you need to bring your front foot a little closer towards you, finding a tall spine, arms to heart center, and then taking a gentle twist towards your right. And back to center. You can repeat that same way or add the arms. Inhale, overhead reach. And exhale, twisting right, and the arms come out to the sides. Letting the shoulders sink away from the ears and finding that tall posture here. And then inhale, overhead reach again. Exhale, arms to heart center. We're going to reach down towards the forward blocks here, and we'll tuck your back toe, lifting your back knee, and we'll just step that leg on in to meet the other leg. Take a moment to do a little side to side hip wiggle here, bend the knees, and we're pressing on up to standing, taking a reach. Arms to heart center. Stepping your right leg back, we'll find warrior one this time. So the back heel is going to be down, and the toes are out just a little on that right leg. Front knee is bent and tracking straight towards me. And then we can reach the arms up if we choose. And just taking a moment, can you feel your front thigh strong? Can you feel your back calf on that right leg? And then we have an upward energy of the fingertips. From here, let's cactus the arms open. So we're going to bend your elbows and draw an openness across the shoulders from one side to the other. The shoulder blades pull together and downward. And then let's reach the arms back up. Maybe trying a couple more of those. So opening across the front of the chest and back up. And one more. And back up. Arms to heart center. From here, let's reach down for floor again. We have the option to come to hands and knees or to plank. So find what works best for you. We can step back to plank, or we can go to kneeling plank as an option. Or we can just take a break in hands and knees. And then from here, we're going to lower the knees all the way down. Good. I'm going to just swivel myself to face the same way as you guys for a moment. So we're going to stay on your left leg and take your right leg out to the side. There you go. And then from here, we can come up onto your left knee for a moment. And if we are taking care of knees and this is bothering, you're welcome to pause and skip this. If you want to grab your block, you can. You may not need it, but with our hand and or with or without the block, we'll place it to our left and the right arm reaches up. So this is our gate pose. You guys got it. So we're finding a nice stretch, maybe down the side of your right body, maybe other areas. And then let's come on back to center. We're gonna do a counter stretch. So just take care not to press into your knee with that right hand. The hand is just gently setting there. And the left arm is reaching upward. And then back down, nice job. Let's change legs while we're here. So just right knee comes underneath you and your left leg goes out to the side. And then we're switching that right hand directly to your right. So from our tall position here, just leaning over, and you can take the left arm upward. And then making our way back upright, and a little counter lean here. And then back on around. So just finding some hand support as you bring your other leg in. We're gonna make our way back upright to down dog, tucking the toes and lifting the knees. Inhale, exhale. And then walking the feet forward, bending through your knees to help you as you get closer. Pressing on up to standing, taking a reach. Arms to heart center. This time stepping your left leg back to find warrior one. So left leg comes back and the heel is down and the toe is out just a little bit on that left leg. Front knee is bent and tracking towards me. And then if you'd like to, you can take your arms up. Breathing in, breathing out. And notice on this side where you feel things. Maybe it's your front thigh. Maybe it's a little stretch in that back leg somewhere. And then we'll cactus the arms open like we did on the other side. So drawing the elbows to a bent position, opening across the front of the shoulders, and then reaching the arms back up. And again, opening and back up. One more time. And back up. Arms to heart center. Let's reach down towards the ground. Good news, we won't do that kneeling thing again, the gate pose. We're gonna step back to plank or hands and knees, either way. And then from here, we're gonna lower onto belly, which you're welcome to lower your knees and then lower to belly, either way. From our stomach, we'll find our cactus arm position again, or goalpost arm, so 90 degrees bent at the elbow. We want to tuck the chin slightly here. You can even keep your forehead down if you prefer. We're tightening belly muscles and then feeling the shoulder blades pull together and down your spine. Yeah, another way to say that might be to pull your shoulders away from your ears. And then let's take the elbows out straight and turn the thumbs up toward the ceiling, like airplane arms, but then we just rotated our arm position. Beautiful. And then we're going to take our arms to a V shape. And then forehead to fist, you can just draw your arms underneath you, bending through your knees. Let's just take a little side to side leg wiggle there. Take a moment to breathe. Just feel the mat against your belly as you breathe in, as you breathe out. And then from here, let's release the legs out straight. We can take hands on either side of us and just press on up, back to hands and knees, tucking our toes back to down dog. And then walking your feet forward, bending through your knees, and all the way up to standing. A nice reach upward. Exhale, arms to heart center. Let's take a pause here in standing. If you want to close your eyes, you can, or just keep them slightly open and soft. Regrounding yourself, feeling your feet in contact with the mat. Maybe we even do a little side-to-side weight shift. And then finding your center between both legs. Feeling that tall posture, like somebody's gently pulling up on the crown of your head. If the eyes are closed, you can open them. And we're gonna step your right leg back to find warrior one. And this is just a little transitional warrior here. From warrior one, we're gonna spin to your right to find warrior two. Beautiful. So your left knee will remain bent. And if you look down at your left toes and thigh, you want your thigh and your foot and toes to be going in the same plane towards the beach some direction. Yep. And then the right toes can be angling the side direction. You guys got it. Arms out to the sides. And this is our warrior two. Just letting the shoulders release away from the ears. And then tuning into that diaphragmatic breath here again. As you breathe in, you may feel the movement of the belly outward. As you breathe out, the belly draws inward. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. So your right arm will reach down towards your right leg. Left arm reaches upward. And then back through to find warrior two. Now shifting into a side angle. So our left elbow can come towards that thigh. Right arm can reach up towards the ceiling. Thinking about tucking your tailbone under here so we get that nice, maybe a little nice stretch around the outer right hip or other areas. If that right arm wants to reach further towards me, it can. It may or it may not go anymore. And now to come out of warrior two, press into your left foot to help you. And we're coming back to warrior two. You can straighten your left knee. And then if you feel like you're doing the splits, you can kind of wiggle that back leg in a bit. We're going to turn palms up, shift your body to the left, and then tip over for triangle. So we just kind of tilt that left arm down. It's similar to the one we just did, except that left knee is a little bit straight now. And now let's bend your left knee, coming back up to warrior two. Arms to heart center. We're going to pivot back around to face this direction, and then reaching down for floor or blocks here, lowering your back knee. And we'll take a little hip stretch. So this is one where if we're taking care of our hips and knees, maybe you want to stay a little higher up, and that's okay. Or some of you might be folding, taking both hands on the inside of your left leg, and then some of you may come down on your forearms here. So finding your stretch that works. We're shifting your hips forward and down towards that left foot. Yeah. Now if we look at our left foot and our knee, if the knee is way in front of the foot, we want to bring your foot forward a bit. But all of you look great in the position you're in. Are we feeling a little stretch somewhere? Yeah, okay. And then we're going to shift towards that back knee. And if you want to use your blocks, you can too. And we just straighten out your front leg a little bit here. So we sit the hips towards your back leg a bit. And you may not be able to get your left leg all the way straight. That's okay. I like to do a little rotation here to kind of get the hip joint moving while I'm here too. So just finding something that works in this position, beautiful. And then let's bend your left knee so we're into a little more comfortable position there, tucking our back toe. And we're gonna lift the back knee and step that foot in. Take a little wiggle, get both legs underneath you, and then we're rising up to standing with a reach. And arms to heart center. Let's just take a pause again, check in with your whole body, see how you feel. And then we'll relocate at the front edge of the mat, arms to heart center. This time stepping your left leg back, warrior one. And we're using this as a transitional pose. So as we're stable here in warrior one, we can spin to your left to find warrior two. So now your right knee will be bent. And if you look down at the right thigh, we want the toes and the thigh to be going in the same angle. And then the left knee is straight and the left toes are facing the side edge. Beautiful. Here too, finding strength through a real stable leg position. And then tall through your spine. Breathing in and breathing out. And then let's reverse the warrior. So your left arm can reach down towards your left leg. So that direction, good. Right arm reaches tall. And back through warrior two. Now right elbow towards thigh for our side angle. Left arm can reach upward. We're tucking our tailbone. And if that left arm wants to reach over a little more, it can. Stopping wherever you feel your body is stretching and working in the position that it wants to today. And pressing into your right foot, back to warrior two. We can straighten that right knee, and here too, if you feel like your legs are way far apart, you can always wiggle that back foot in a bit, turning palms up, and we're shifting towards the right and down for triangle. Bending through your right knee, back up to warrior two. Arms to heart center. And then pivoting around to face this direction towards me again. We'll reach down for the floor blocks. We can take your back knee down. And then we're finding that hip stretch on this side. So we're shifting your hips forward toward that front leg, making sure that the foot and the knee, making sure the knee is not going way past the foot. You can hold here, or you can bring your arms on the inside of that right leg. Some of you may come down lower onto forearms. So just kind of find the stretch that works best for you here. Breathing in, breathing out. Making sure we're working within the boundaries of our own bodies. And then we can shift our way towards the back leg as we straighten out that front knee a little bit. Feel free to take a little side-to-side wiggle if you want to with that right leg, or just work a gentle stretch down the back of their right leg. And then we're gonna bend that knee, bring the foot on in closer, and we're reaching down, tuck the back toe, lift the back leg, and step it on in to meet the front leg. Grounding through both feet, and then as you're ready, rising up to standing. Inhale, reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. We're gonna move into a balance exercise here. So if you prefer to hang onto a pole, you can. But let's take our figure 4 hip stretch. So if you're standing on your right leg, your left knee can lift, and then we're crossing that leg over and sitting the hips back, like we're sitting in a chair. And again, we can do this hanging on to something too. Finding a spot to gaze on a couple feet in front of you can be helpful with the balance. Eventually back to 2 feet. Nice job. Give your standing leg a little wiggle. And then great option to have your, let's say the one leg doesn't want to do all of that. You can have your other toe touch as an option. You can also have the foot on a block as an in-between option too. So feel free, you can make this your own. Let's root through your left leg and we'll lift your right knee up. Taking any variation of this that works for you. Crossing the leg over, sitting the hips back. Finding a spot to gaze on that doesn't move. Coming in and out as you'd like to. If we're taking care of knees, we can keep this a little higher so we don't bend the knee, the standing leg as much. Nice job. Eventually then back to 2 feet. Give your standing leg a little wiggle, some ankle circles there. Nice work. You can find our feet hip distance apart and just take a little side to side hip rock. We'll do one more little hip standing exercise that might feel good. And it's making a figure 8. We just did figure 4. Making a figure 8 with your pelvis and allowing your ankles, knees, and hips to kind of move with it. So we're just kind of loosening all of that up, lubricating the joints a bit. Little figure 8. Next we'll do hula hoops. I'm just kidding. I haven't seen hula hoops here, but that's a whole sport. Has anybody tried it? I don't know how they keep the hula hoops up. All right, and then we'll find the top edge of our mat again. Taking an inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, folding forward. Let's step back to down dog, one leg at a time. We'll take an inhale and an exhale here. And then lowering to hands and knees. We'll make our way into a seated position. So finding a seated position facing me, we'll take your left leg out straight in front of you. And I'll switch to mirroring you guys again. So your left leg, and then take your right leg and cross it over if it goes. So from here, we'll find just a real tall posture. You can certainly hold this position if you'd like to, or we can add a twist towards your right. So your right arm will come down by your side, and the left arm can kind of hook onto your thigh or knee there. Then we're coming back to center. Let's change legs. So right leg out straight, left leg tucks in, over top. Finding that tall spine. And now your left arm can reach down, adding the gentle twist if you choose. to center. And let's go ahead and make our way onto our back for a moment. We'll do a couple more stretches on our back, and then we'll eventually come back to that seated position. On our back, let's take your left knee and draw it into chest. The right leg can go out straight if that feels okay. And then we can pull your left leg across your body with your right arm. And then left arm can come out to the side. If you'd like to, you can take your left leg, your knee, and just kind of reach it out a little straighter if you want to. So you're reaching your foot towards kind of the water fountain there, as your left arm is out to the left. And then drawing your left leg and your left arm back in. You can roll onto your back again, hugging both knees to chest. Let's take a little side to side wiggle here for the low back. Then we're keeping a hold of the right leg, and the left leg can go out straight. And then left arm is pulling your right leg over to the side. Your right arm can go out to the side. And you can hold this, or you can begin to straighten your right knee towards the other side of the room. Slowly making your way back to your back, hugging both knees to chest, little side to side rock. And we can take our butterfly stretch here, feet together, knees wide. Taking a moment to come back to our diaphragmatic breathing. This is another great place to kind of tune into that. As you breathe in, feel the rise of your belly. As you breathe out, the belly lowers. As you exhale, we're working to relax and release tension through our body. Now drawing your knees towards each other, we're going to shift over to a side. Any side is fine. And then pressing our way back upright to a seated position. We're going to do our ending Shavasana in seated today, because I also want to do another breathing technique. We started with the inhaling in thirds, and then a long exhale. And now we're going to inhale all the way, pause, exhale a third, pause, exhale a third, pause, exhale all the whatever you have left of your lungs, pause, and then repeat. So in your own timing, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, a deep breath in, and then exhale a third, pause, exhale a second third, pause, a third, and if you want to do a cleansing breath in between, you absolutely can. And let's take 2 or 3 more cycles of that if you choose. And as you're finishing up, just shift into a comfortable breathing pattern. And we'll take a moment to just find some stillness. Notice how you feel in this sitting position compared to the beginning of class. Maybe it feels slightly different, maybe it feels the same. We're just observing. Notice mentally how you feel. Are you able to direct a sense of relaxation through your whole body, even if it's a little bit of work to remain in a seated position like this? And then from here, I invite you to just take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Just sighing that exhale out your mouth. Let's do one more. So deep breath in through your nose. And then a long exhale. And now we can take our arms to heart center as we close out our class this afternoon. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.
Namaste.